Trump is either strategically moving us into a new economy, or he's absolutely completely disconnected from the reality of what's happening. So I'm going to give you the facts, figures, numbers, logic, and I would love to hear your opinion on what you think is happening, but I'm not fucking sitting by and waiting and hoping for a savior. I'm going to share with you what is actually happening. I'm going to share with you my opinion. Of course, it's just my opinion. Do your own research. I'm going to share with you how I've navigated this and became a multi-millionaire. If you've been following me, I'm sharing on my channels exactly what I'm doing. On my Instagram, on my story the other day, I showed exactly how much money I make. I'm not gatekeeping. I'm showing people my buys, what I do, how I'm scaling my businesses, and most of all, how I've navigated through this economic system. I created what's called Capel DR because there's been over 32 major market collapses, and there's going to be many more. So I'm going to explain what's actually happening in the markets right now. I'm going to explain to you two sides of the story, what I think may be happening. Because Trump either is strategic and knows exactly what he's doing, he's bringing us into a new economy, or he's completely disconnected, and they're set up, and we're about to get screwed. And I'm not waiting to find out. So number one, you have to pay attention to the private credit markets. To give you an example, this 2006 to 2008 was about a $1 trillion collapse. The private credit markets are about 2 to 4 trillion. We don't know exactly because it's not regulated. It's subprime auto lenders, it's private credit, it's non-bank financial institutions lending, non-regulated institutions, non-bank. I would say non-bank financial institutions. So the Federal Reserve has no idea how systemic this is. But to give you an example, about 20% collapse in the private credit markets would be equal to the collapse in 2006 to 2008. We go back to the 1980s when the collapse, that was about 800 billion. You saw how bad the 2006 to 2008 destroyed our parents' retirement. Well, 5 months ago, Jamie Dimon said, when there's one roach, there's many, and he was talking about the private credit markets and the systemic issue because there was a bankruptcy. The Blue Owl CEO came on and said, we're healthy. Our balance sheets are great. There's no issue. 5 months later, they had a 40% drawdown of people trying to withdraw based on private credit. Another signal is Warren Buffett is in an all-time highest cash position that he's ever been in. And he mentioned private credit. He's positioned like a sniper waiting for a market collapse. Because here's the first hint. You get wealthy in red and you feed your ecosystem in green. Remember, what you see as retirement, the wealthy trade back and forth. What you see as retirement, the wealthy trade back and forth. The markets are fucking ruthless. Do you think the markets and the 1% gave a shit about our parents when their economy collapsed? They didn't care if they could pay their mortgage? No, they don't give a shit about you. So you should be ruthless about your ecosystem, like I am. I'm fucking ruthless when it comes to my family and my ecosystem and protection. And yes, I'm being intense because that's how serious this is. Now, I don't know when the collapse is going to happen, but if there's a $4 trillion